mementos and gifts of what is, for some, possibly the biggest game of basketball they will ever play, a qualification game at EuroBasket Women. Winner takes all, as we get a look at the third team on the floor, the three officials. Their teamwork as important as the players. Jasmina Juras, Özlem Yalman, Mila Kavala from Serbia, Turkey and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Jasmina Juras, the crew chief, and her team very experienced and must have done a good job here in Riga as they've been given such an important game. Teresa, going to look at their rosters in a moment, but this point where Sweden, how good were they at the beginning of the tournament. It looks like we're going to let the Latvia roster first. And you don't look beyond Diliak, do you? Think she's been absolutely tremendous. Yeah,
she has been a brain of Latvian team on and off court with the intensity, with the... She's just leading by an example. And you know, even yesterday against the Spanish team, she has had to deal with a tough job, the aggressivity of the Spanish defense, and she's still been able to manage the lead team, even though she has a couple turnovers. But here we have the starting five as usual. And I think it will depend. How Latvia is gonna finish this game will depend on how Elina Bikailak is gonna play. She's averaging 3-pointers. She's shooting 43%, almost delivering a 6 assists. And we can see she also pushing the ball ahead and really running the quick transition offense before the opposition defenses even set it up. And I think it will be really important how she plays today.
Well, the Sweden roster, as we said earlier on, Teresa, was so good for a whole game. They won their opening game comfortably over Montenegro, and then was so good in the first half against Czech Republic. It obviously highlighted Bazui, but this starting lineup with the Elderbrinks in the back court, what has gone wrong?
I think the issue is the consistency on the Swedish side. I think they are the team which quick games suit them really well, but as soon as they start to focus on 5-on-5, I don't think they are as effective. Amanda Zari, we've seen yesterday against France, when she's got touches, the Swedish team is really on the tip of the horse, so I think they really need to manage to give her touches early in this game and also consistently be delivering her some touches. So I think when you ask me a question, I think on the Swedish side it will depend if they're going to be consistent in this game with their performance and with the tactical game strategy.
Well, Martin Zibarts in recent years have had significant success with this Latvian team, qualifying for the World Cup. Also going to be in the huddle here with this Swedish team. I think he's... let them go, let them play, let them run, and then see what they can get, because Zoe in the open floor is as good as any player in this competition. Sweden have never lost to Latvia in EuroBasket play, but the last time they played was as long ago as 2001, so it's been a long time in the EuroBasket context, and these teams have locked horns, shall we say, and both teams have an opportunity to get a quarter-final game against Serbia next Thursday.
Darbie draugi, no kuras izlases ir viskaistākās meitenes skolā? No kuras?
Well, welcome everybody to the Riga Arena. We're only going to say that one more time after this. It's been a marvellous time here. Only 2 more games. Sweden in the yellow, Latvia in the burgundy uniform. And Sweden get the first look at it in the half court. Roy puts it on the floor, straight down the gutter. The defense for 2. And you've just got to say, where has that been for the last game and a half, because she is just lightning going to the hoop.
Yeah, it's such important for a team to score quick first basket in this situation when you're playing do or die games. So great decision from Lloyd.
Turnover and Elderbrink. Ellen Bershin goes to Lloyd again. He's short but gets her own rebound. Elderbrink gets it to Alderson. And Elderbrink stops and pops and knocks it down. And Sweden never got into a set, and we've been pleading with them to run it loose for this competition, because They are so good in broken play. Iliaku in the half court. They just need to settle down now, Latvia. Mane has nowhere to go. Nice front cuts. Great finish. Super finish by Belarus. Beautiful front cut. Elderbrink pushes the other way, and this is the tempo that should suit a Swedish team that really does excite. In the corner for three is short. And Iliaku where she likes to be in the open floor. 4-on-3 break. Bray fires up the three, is short. And Callis Lloyd will bring it down. Ellen Elderbrink looks inside, doesn't want to give it to Halverson. And Ayablu Mane gets that long leg left leg out and prevents the post entry.
Yeah, so we can see so far really not overcombine the offense from Swedish team, and I think that really suits them to run the floor and try to use a quick advantage what the defensive players gonna create for them.
Zui rolls mid-range. Nice skip pass. Lloyd attacks that drive lane again for two, and she has started strong. Drive to the hoop, great little finish, and Sweden have a 6-2 advantage. Iliaku into the half court, gets the handoff, attacks it. Wow. Took contact, off balance, still found the glass. Elderbrink pushes and pops, and that is Swedish basketball at its best. Scored against, Iliaku's on the floor down the other end, and Elderbrink takes advantage. Iliaku looks inside, has to take the long two, not in rhythm. And Elderbrink will take the ball screen, big screen by Zui. Extra, Lloyd wide open for three, is short. Halverson keeps it alive, Elderbrink recovers, and Sweden get a reset. Halverson going to work down low, off the glass. Tremendous defense. Villabelle just stood her ground. Back cut. Got Mane. Beautiful running hook for two, and both teams with real intent early.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased to see this high intensive tempo of the game so far, because both teams know what they play for, and for Latvia I think it's really important that other players are going to support Elina Dikailaku offensively.
Elderbrink against the closeout, Halverson loses it. Zui with a three, where she's been very effective. Lloyd gets a piece and is active. Possibly as active as she's been in this whole competition. Iliaku just about beats the 8 count to get it over. Vele will reverse it. Mane. Again, the attack of the closeout is sweet. Mane, stop, knocks down the mid-range two and ties it at 8. Halverson, baseline, needs a pass. Zowie goes inside to Elderbrink. Inside out, turnover.
Great rotation. Doubling the player in the middle of the paint and then chase the first pump pass.
Well, the intent was good because the mismatch was there, but the execution a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, that screen on Pilavera, this is that attack of Elina Dikailaku over the defensive hand. Latvia right now have had those mismatches, but the first case they didn't really focus or force the pass in there, and that's why Mane had that baseline penetration. But the other hand, you want to change the angle to have a better pass.
McGarity checks in, yet to explode, if that's the right word, in this tournament. Elderbrink slices through, gets the two. Oh, blows it. Wow, wide open at the ring, just popped it in and it popped out. Iliaku, post entry. Mane had nowhere to go. Zoe's just too big and too everything in that situation. Frida Elderbrink. Garrity on the inside, and she's going to travel. Well, many people looking at McGarity and seeing that, the WNBA first-round draft pick should be, wow, she should be this, she should be that. Don't forget, she's straight out of college. Up until few weeks ago. She was playing under 22 basketball. Really, really well though at Virginia Tech, but has a future. It's really has struggled a little bit with the physicality, Teresa.
Yeah, but we've seen her getting better by every game by grabbing those 9 rebounds in yesterday's games against strong French bigs, and she really does adjust to the senior level game by game.
Oh, Nystrom with the palm of her hand, apparently. Let's take a look. Well, maybe the forearm, but definitely a foul. Kreslina checks in, turns over. And then Elderbrink has a look at what she has with Garrity on the wing, goes inside. Zowie goes up, jump hook for 2, gets the roll.
Yeah, and that's the difference between Margareta and Zowie. Zowie really knows how to play the defender. She doesn't force, she really waits for that contact to know where the defender is located.
Well, that's 2 quick fouls on Ellen Nystrom. And she was very good. She hadn't played like until yesterday. Marie carrying a little injury that they tried to protect. And was very, very effective coming off the bench against France. The 2 quick fouls is really going to affect the rotations that Sweden would want to put out on the floor. Biaku in the half court gets the ball screen and has to reverse the ball. Luari gets down the middle, needs a pass, finds one. Kreslina for 3 is long, and that's a box out by Elderbrink, and Zowie gets the rebound stat, but her team, just every single one of them boxed. Elderbrink to the middle and kicks. Zowie again outside. This is when they struggle, Trees, isn't it? When they get into a half court, it all gets a little bit one-dimensional. And this is the dimension. Zowie for 3 is fouled and will go to the free throw line.
Okay, and this is a 4th game at this tournament, and you have to ask the question why now Zinta Melnika is dropped down in the middle of the paint when Zowie is on the 3-point line. Zowie shoots so far 54% from 3s at this tournament, and she's gonna take that shot. And she can be lucky she didn't hit this 3 and 1.
Well, drops the first of the free throws. And this first 6 minutes has flown by here. And that's down to Swedish tempo.
Yeah, and I can only agree with you, Mark, that the Swedish side really likes to, and it suits them to play quick and get some quick action out of that, let's say, slow move of the defensive players to come back. But as soon as they start to play 5-on-5, that's not as effective.
Substitution. Binta Delaney comes in for Sweden. I mean, they started this tournament with a lot of confidence in Clara Lindqvist, and we both liked her a lot in the early games, but she seems to have struggled, should we say, with it. Maybe the intensity of the competition. Still think she could be a key factor in today's game.
Yeah, I think for her it's a great learning experience this tournament, because she has an excellent first game, and then obviously the other games when the intensity and aggressivity defensively raised up, she has struggled with keeping the rhythm of the game for Swedish side.
Kreslina, as we keep saying, with the various changes to the roster, is so vital to Latvia, as Buveri does not get the 3 to job, but Melinka going up, left hand off the glass, tough move, doesn't get the drop. Zowie just owned it on the board. And I think that's called, your hand has just been caught with a cookie jar. And Elderbrink will inbound. Had a career night in her Swedish international history last night, 18 points. She wasn't even aware of it, to be fair. I think about 3 or 4 of the press told her before the press conference, but all she was worried about was today and how well they played yesterday. Lloyd going to work, far side of the ring, gotta love it. Got to love it.
Yeah, Lloyd has been using her athleticism right now against the bigs of Latvia. So far, she has been averaging only 7 points, playing 25 minutes. But I think Coach Gomez really put the trust into her in today's game.
Elika goes up with a jump hook, gets her own rebound, tries to find a little angle. Misses the next hook shot, Elderbrink. And Lloyd is just in a different place. She is in a different place. Carlos Lloyd goes to 8 points personal in the first 7 minutes of the game and has ignited Sweden to a 16-8 advantage. Timeout for Latvia. And well, we've been waiting for Carlos Lloyd to be athletic. That's a phenomenal start by her.
Yeah, that's absolutely something we haven't seen so far, 8 points. And you know what, I think sometimes if you get the trust from the coach to go to starting 5, especially in an important game like this, it can really boost your confidence. And I think Lloyd at the moment is killing it, and is a key factor because Latvian defense can't cope with that athleticism after a few screens creating mismatches. So she then attacks the bigs of Latvian. I think definitely Latvia needs to stop that quick breaks, and I think Swedish side heard us Mark saying that we really like them to play quick ahead, and now again it was quick to offenses, quick to 4 points. So I think they really need to keep running that floor.
Kā jau teicu, kadroti pagaisu, rokas pagaisu, kad uzbruk pretinieks taisam troksni. Šobrīd tā starpība nav lielajās, kā lai vēl ir gana daudz, bet acīm redzams, ka 6:44 būtu daudz vieglāk. Iedod mazliet enerģijas mūsu zemē.
Here we see this, just a confirmation foul for 8 points, shooting 4 out of 6 on the field for Lloyd. Great first quarter.
Well, Lloyd has come up with a Grimard's come up with a steal and settles for the long jumper and knocks it down. That's the way to come off the bench.
Absolutely, and that's
and
not the way.
another turnover. Sweden all of a sudden are just dominant. Gary to the corner, gets it back. Gary lines up the 3, is long. And somehow Latvia dodged that bullet. Diliaku, as she has done so far in this tournament, off to the glass, doesn't get the roll, looks at the official and asks. And get absolutely no response. Blimi going inside, needs a pass, and they call the travel. And they should not worry about that. They are going to have some turnovers. They're going to have some travels. But it's just the benefit far outweighs the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. That's nothing I can add to this, because obviously when you play a quick game, you have to count on that you're gonna have some turnovers. Now it's up to them just to control how many, and if they're gonna have them in a row, or they're gonna really control the rhythm of their offense.
Iliaku gets to the top of the D, moves it on. Solnay will get the ball screen. She's been so good coming in and making quick contributions. Can't get the drop. Great rebound by Stratmanio. Goes back up. When it's not going your way, you have to outwork your opponent, and Stratmane definitely did that. Frida Elderbrink gets Sweden into the half court, which is not really where she wants them to be. Stops, fires up to 2, and just flat out knocks it down, but she's rolled her ankle. I think she came down on the foot, and that is just going to be devastating. Elderbrink's tough. She does not stay down. Everyone wants to get her up. I'm not so sure. She wants to put weight on it. She's going to walk out. I think it was a simple roll in the ankle. She'll be back, because I hope she's back, because she's started so really well. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad because she stayed down, which was the concern.
Yeah, you always need that moment to even realize how serious that is or not. But the fact that she walked away, I'm pretty sure we will see her again.
Salvi's checked out of the game. Halverson's back in. Checking Sony again. But again, another player that wasn't really big minutes at the start of this competition, but has really developed her role. Iaku in the lane with a runner. Is no good. Great rebound. That's just a super rebound.
Yeah, and when you fight with the rebounding position, you do fight before the ball even hit the ring. So you really, Margarita needs to learn and fight for the position when the ball is shot already.
Elderbrink is long with a 3. Gally off the glass, can't create the angle and use, really does need a little bit more upper body strength. Soft touch and the little drop. Nina Mane, the Syracuse undergrad. Straight off the bench, straight into the scorer's column. And Sweden take their timeout. And I think they just need to regroup with the Elderbrink injury.
Yeah, it's never too easy to get one of the leaders injured early in the game. Always sometimes the players need a little bit of time to assure them that everything's going to be okay, she's going to be okay, she's going to be back. On the other hand, I think Latvian team right now took that advantage of it and really run the floor. Again, both teams, it suits them when they run and something's going to come out of it. But I think what Latvia really is good at as well is some, let's say, off-ball movement. And when their bigs coming off the screen into the position, I think that's where they're strong at if you want to play and use your bigs. This has been a great individual action of Stuart Mane, and I think we haven't really seen them from Elnika being contributions for Latvian offense, and she has been past couple games, and but she's not the player who needs to dribble the ball in the middle of the paint, so that's why you want to open her with some simple screen and let her to cut into her position and just keep the ball high and tip it in.
Well, Sweden after the timeout, almost a little 1-2-2 trap out of the timeout. They took it straight off. They showed it and didn't run it. She's instant. She is instant. And that's the type of game they put on the floor in game 1 and game 2. Well, first half of game 2. If you leave them alone, they're shooting the ball.
Yeah, and it's really important that in today's game, these guys like Lloyd and Drama really contribute as well offensively for Swedish side.
Got Mane trying to find space, gets a little space, can't get the two to drop. Alderson will come down with a defensive rebound. Elderbrink puts it up, does not get the drop, and that will do it for quarter 1. Sweden have been hot. They're 23-14 hot. At the end of 1, they have the 9-point advantage over Latvia on the back of these statistics. No one really making anything from the three-point line, but Sweden have just been great at running the ball and pounding it around on the inside. Great start for Sweden. They lead by 9. Welcome back inside the Riga Arena. The Swedish contingent is as big as it's been the whole time. Great traveling group of fans. Both sides of this lower bowl full, so that's another 3,000 plus crowd. The president of the state of Latvia is in the front row, court side. He was here literally cheering his team on when they beat Ukraine the other day. Teresa, this Swedish performance, exactly what we've been, well, pleading for, if that's the right word, because when they run and play expensive basketball, they are a handful for anybody.
Yeah, and if everyone's going to get touches as well, it's going to boost their confidence, and then the Swedish side has loads of options, no matter on the position. And I think really the key is, are they going to show the same performance in the second quarter? Because we've seen Swedish team already playing an excellent quarters, like scoring 30 points, but then dropping down again to 9 points. So I think the consistency will be the key if the Swedish side is going to keep running the floor and grabbing offensive rebounds.
Well, they've been as good as they've been in that first quarter, with Zowie only hitting 4 points because they've shared the scoring loads. So we're just about ready for quarter 2, and Latvia will have the first look at the half court. Monika will set the screen and then just step out. Ulvari, Iliaku's getting her time on the bench. Well, the idea was interesting, the execution tough, and the turnover predictable.
Yeah, Stratman didn't give that first look to that rolling big down into the position, and she kind of overbent that pass, let's say.
Lame needs a pass, got no real options. Elderbrink puts it on the floor, stops, takes some contact in the lane, and will go to the free throw line. And that's the type of play, Teresa, where they've come down in transition, they've moved the ball, hit the second side, which creates a little drive lane, and then they've taken it a bit aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not first time we see Elina Löbing attacking that middle of the paint. I think both sisters really love that inside penetration. So as a defender, you would want to read it, and you would want to adjust a little bit and try to push her to the sideline more, where she has less opportunity to create either for herself or for her teammates.
Well, she knocks down the free throw, substitution coming in. Krislina's going to come back, especially without Iliaku on the floor. Krislina just gives them a little bit more offensive options. Pressure from Sweden up the floor has already been successful earlier on. Usone, Elderbrink just has a dig, makes her work, takes some time out of the particular set. Go block to block on the screen. Mane goes baseline, doesn't get a look. Krislina in the lane.
It's a great defense.
Tremendous work. Where it goes up. Ovai didn't panic, gets the two. Sweden played great defense. Latvia stayed with it. Exactly what you'd expect at this level. Elderbrink, they show hard on the screen. Alderson will set the screen and dive. Needs a pass out of the double team, gets the travel.
Again, the Latvian team has used that momentum to surprise the fifth trap by the half-foot line and their possession. And I would say Elina Löbing is experienced enough to try to keep that dribble and get away from the trap.
Sony into the half court. Krislina, that's a tough move against Lema. She's so good defensively. Lloyd has it and will advance it. Just gets that beautiful pick and roll. What a play. You got to question the help side defense, but let's not worry about that because Alverson just picked and rolled hard.
Yeah, I think Lloyd has recognized that Latvian defense is switching those screens, and she created that mismatch right away with a quick break.
So Monika going for moves that were successful against Ukraine, let's put it that way, and Spain, to be fair. Had a big game last night. Garrity getting extended minutes, the quality's there. Elderbrink needs a pass, Alvarson gives it to her. Leme, 6 on the possession, fires up the left-handed three. McGarity just outworks everybody on the glass. He's active. Alvarson goes strong, right hand to the ring. Will go to the free throw line because Dignas Flamani never got across, didn't stay in stance. She's going to sit down. Alvarson will go to the free throw line, and this is great news for Swedish fans as Frida Elderbrink steps back in.
Yeah, absolutely important. She again gets the touch on the floor, really put her back on the game because she is such important for the rotation of the Swedish side. But I want to say that Sweden has had average 12 offensive rebounds before this game, or until this game, and I think really Latvia needs to make sure that they box the players out, because if you're going to get them another possession, they are the team who most likely going to score it or find a way how to score.
Alvarson can only go 1 for 2. Lloyd is in and Diliak is back in, and Lloyd's just going to guard her.
Yeah, Lloyd didn't even look at the ball right now. She's really facing Elina Dikalaku.
Nika will hand it off. Pulvari could be important here if they're going to play 4-on-4. A nice pass. And again, another missed inside option. Elderbrink to the baseline. Zowie. That's going to be offensive because, quite rightly, Nika had position. And they tried to move her illegally, obviously.
Yep, another great decision from official. You can't just run into the defender and try to lean on them. So quite straightforward call.
You have to have a feel for that, don't you? You've got to recognise who's there first and where they are. And as Belarus saw the defence and got position, and Halvorsen just literally tried to move it. That's not the way to play in the post. Find another position, reposition, try and create angles.
Here we see some percentage that Swedish side has been shooting 7 free throws and Latvia none. And it just has to tell you that Latvia probably tried to avoid that contact when they're attacking the rim, because to not be at least once on the foul line shot, when we put into consideration we are already in the second quarter, that is not aggression you want to play in with offensively.
No problem here for Latvia if they just get back to what they were good at yesterday, getting things off their defense, trying to create the opportunity to actually attack the hoop and get the defense chasing and scrambling, as opposed to what Sweden are doing, which is pretty much containing it one-on-one. Kreslina takes some point guard duties away from Iliaku. Iliaku gets to the elbow, stops and fires up the two. He's made that shot so consistently here in Riga. Lloyd again, drive lane, easy two, just quick.
Yeah, and there's no one from Latvian defense on the split line to even look at this penetration. They more worry about the big two they're doing on the top of the key instead of being under the very basket and just cover these penetrations.
Well, 30-18, Lloyd picks up her first foul, second team foul for Sweden, but Lloyd has 10 of the 30 and has really, that move from the top of the key to the far side of the ring, she's made it so effectively. The two is off. Well, Nika goes up and still cannot buy one from underneath. The proverbial lid is on the basket when she puts up the shot. She's over on the inside. Lloyd, who's absolutely had a most effective game of the tournament so far. Halvorsen inside, skips it, Elderbrink, Lloyd gets it on the in-out, great pass. And that's too much contact.
Also, great ball movement, let's say, skipping from the strong side to the weak side, using those closeouts, going against that move, and great cut on the baseline from Zawi to receive this last pass. And I have to say, back to Lloyd, she's scored 10 points so far, and all of them have been after penetration, and again, it comes to adjustment defensively, so she's not the best three-point shooter, so if she is that athletic, and I know I have this advantage in the speed or in the size, I'm gonna just help myself and step a little bit back from her, keep the hand up to contest the shot, but cover the penetration.
Well, that's an unusual sight. Zawi missing a free throw. Iliaku pushes and going baseline will draw contact from Elderbrink. That's the breeder of variety of the Elderbrink. Krame's going to step in, and they haven't missed a beat because she's come off the bench and done a really nice job too. You know, she has 5 points off the bench. They got 15 points from that big guard spot, small forward. Yaku slices through the defense in the lane, and there was just no one move for her. You know, there's a rule that, you know, if she penetrates, you've got to see the ball. Her whole team just stood. She had no pass option, and what she had was 4 collapsing defenders. Zawi in the block. You're going to play one-on-one. She's going to go. Takes the fadeaway jump shot. Not the strongest option she's taken in this tournament. Elderbrink with more on the possession, attacks it, goes up. Whistle on the play, and she will go to the free throw line. Another one of those golden rule moments. Don't settle for just a jump shot at the bottom of the shot clock.
Yeah, absolutely, and Woodmore just books out again, because that's the second possession in a row thanks to their offensive rebound. of the Swedish team, and that's a 5th team one. And again, if you consider they 5 times had the second possession, that's 10 points ahead of the other team, and we see there is a 14-point difference on the score and margin, and you know it's really easy to play when you have a 2 times to attack the rim instead of 1.
Elderbrink is good from the line again, 2 for 2. And Sweden quietly, well not quietly actually, efficiently, very quickly in terms of tempo, have opened out this 15-point lead, 5 minutes to go in the half. No panic needed yet by Latvia, but they've got to find a way to, well, stop the bleeding, let's put it that way. It's almost like a slow drip. Liaku goes to the mid-post. Great little rip and turnover though. Elderbrink with numbers. Halvorsson's down the floor. Doesn't get rewarded. Gemma drops it in the corner. 3 is away and good.
And again,
Sweden in transition.
Absolutely. They must play quick into the rim.
Liaku having to work so hard, drops it inside, extra pass. Kreslina simply has to make the open look and doesn't. Belame puts it on the floor. And Elderbrink's yelling at her, push it, no one stops you. But they recover it, and going to get the foul on it. Looking for Halvorsson, who had the spot.
Another great hand to Berlin Elderbrink defensively, give them the opportunity to run the floor. And both teams in the foul troubles right now, so every foul is going to be rewarded by 2 free throws for either side.
Nyström checks back in. I think this rotation with Nyström is really helping Sweden. Liaku with Romane. Finds an angle, doesn't get the drop. Zowie comes down with a rebound. Nyström gets her first touch since coming back into the game. Elderbrink shows her like one set, but doesn't really run the dribble entry. Halvorsson wants it down low. They like the matchup. They're going to try and get it there, and they get it there. Halvorsson now has nowhere to go. Wide open. Zowie for 3. Got it.
I really like to see that Swedish side doesn't force any passes, even though they have advantage at certain position. If they're not sure, they really do look after the ball and rather attack it and create another one.
Elderbrink's just picked the pocket again. Goes up for the 2, and what could have been a Latvian dream is turning into a nightmare. 23-point margin, 3:30 to go in the half. Plenty of time, but they look a little shell-shocked. They have no time out to regroup. These 3 minutes could be a long 3 minutes. Great work by Kreslina on the glass. Bodies on the floor again. Liaku for 3. They need it. Can't get the drop. Zowie comes down with a rebound, and Elderbrink looks to push again, and Halvorsson just commits to the break. Sets the ball screen. Little short roll. They get a deflection. And Liaku just will not let her country die, and she goes to the free throw line with the absolute play they needed.
Yeah, and I have to say, this is the Swedish team I'd like to see every game, because right now they're really in full control of the game defensively and offensively. Even though this has been a great attack of Elena Dikailaki, we have seen it from her. Once she has the ball, she just goes for it, because obviously we see that when Latvia plays 5-on-5 in today's game, it's not really as what they used to, that they coming out with the open position. I think Swedish team really does great job defensively. They do really protect their spaces, and they don't allow the Latvian players to cut and flash easily at all.
Well, Sweden take a timeout.
Here we see the turnovers, 9 for Latvia, 7 for Sweden, but with more is the fast break points, 8-1 for Swedish side, and that's what we spoke about before the game started, that we know that the Sweden side is the team who needs to run the floor, because then only something good can come out of it. And here the shocking stats of Latvia 6-0 from threes, and we've witnessed it like before in the games before that when the team can't hit any long distance shots, it's just pain in the ass because, I'm sorry for this kind of language-wise, but it is because then obviously the Swedish team is gonna just feel the pain and there's no space to attack, there's no space to cut through. They need to hit some long distance shots.
Sometimes, you know, here's a question for you. If the other team, you're on a roll here, you're Sweden, you've got the ability to keep the momentum going with people on your team. The other team hasn't scored for 5 minutes. Do you want to take that timeout?
Not really, because you give them opportunity now to kind of recover and give them some time to discuss some more tactics to be able to break this 5 minutes and score.
5 scoreless minutes. They've used all their timeouts out. And let's see the effect now of what Latvia can do. Well, they're down 22 points, 2:45 to go.
Yeah, and Coach Gomez gave them the opportunity to go back defensively into zone defense, which they definitely discussed at that timeout.
That would have been for 3. Well, they take 19 seconds to shoot the ball, come up empty. The first time they've been that deep on a shot clock. Deliaku penetrates, Jakobsoni moves it on. Septe is aggressive, draws contact, will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, Septe has used now that all Swedish defense has been shifting to the left side, and she used that move against the defender. And that's quite obvious foul, hitting the player while attacking.
I mean, obviously there could be all sorts of really very understandable reasons to do it. Change something, actually go a bit harder. Try and try and squeeze the moment if you want to get as big a lead as you possibly can.
Yeah, but that's like you mentioned, like you're on the top of the horse. You wanna let your team play like that, and they didn't really show any sign of tiredness, or they would need some time off. And by that gesture, you're giving opposition just time to discuss and reset mentally, because really Swedish team has been pushing Latvia in this second quarter.
So it makes the second of the free throws. Latvia now pressed with his own trap. Almost got away with it. Well, did walk, got away with it. Complete change of pace and tempo. Now with a foul line jump shot that just hits nothing, really. Iliaku, 2-on-1 break. And it comes off the feet of Glenn and inbound ball for.
And again, really, when the zone works well, it's such a good opportunity for the team to run a quick breaks out of the zone defense. And that's what we're seeing. It has been unfortunate that Elena Karlaku has almost lost that ball.
Iliaku gets away with a little push off. Turn the corner, it's a big screen. Iliaku for 2 is no good. Brahmani gets the rebound. The scramble for it. Everybody's on the floor. Ball will go back to Sweden. And plays that Latvia were finishing last night, they're just not able to finish tonight.
Yeah, they really struggle, only scoring 6 points in the second quarter. That's really low number to try to compete before you break to the changing room.
Well, I think they've scored 2 points in the last 6 minutes. Tough little runner. Olympus doesn't get a drop. That's a rebound by Halverson. They get a new full team. Zowie will look at her options. They go to the corner. Dwayma going up. That left-hand jump shot, which is tonight looking so sweet.
One dribble and jump stop or 3 from Drummond today really works.
Latvia need a good minute here. Get something positive going into the heart. Tegrisoni turns the corner. Gets to the foul line. Goes again. Wide open in the corner for 3. Is no good. And they literally cannot buy a field goal. 2 free throws is all they've had in the last 6 minutes. Halverson in the block, 1-on-1, great pass, foul on the play.
Yeah, Filabera has been there late, and all she could do was facing sideways towards Zari and foul. It's been great cut though from the top of the key of Zari when Halverson got the pass in the low block. It's such effective, and these two has been showing us how nice it is when 2 bigs know about each other in offense.
Sally on the free throw line. First one is good. Not far. A team that for the last three halves of basketball has struggled to get above 25. It's close to 50 and a half. Sweden back to where Sweden could be. Sone looking at options, spending a lot of time. Great work by Nystrom to guide Iliakovs, making it so hard. Christina finally gets it to go. Take any little positive note as she knocks down the three. Ramek on the floor again. That one dribble and pull up. It's long. Nystrom just outworks everybody. Halvorsen, got to put it up, and that won't count.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Swedish players have been aware of that time ticking those couple last seconds.
So at the half, a tremendous performance by Sweden. Unbelievable intensity and tempo. They lead it 45 to 23 on the back of these statistics. 62% from two. They finally made some threes. They got to the free throw line 13 times because they were the aggressor. Advantage on the glass. Latvia need to regroup, work their way back into this possession by possession, and they'll have a chance because this crowd will lift them. Two players already in double figures for Sweden. That's been as close to Swedish perfection as you'll get. You can enjoy the highlights of that first half. We'll take a break. We'll be back with you in around 10 minutes.
Sagaida šeit laukuma centrā, tumšā arēnā Rīga, Puls efekts. this guy. Pulse effect!
Alvin backhand, hands it off to Bilgic, and the big swap machine comes in. Hatar.
Yaku gets inside, little floater, and one! And if anyone knows how to milk the crowd in this Riga arena, it's Leo Yaku. And they look long. Whoa. Great pass, great transition. Let's give Ukraine a chance to cut this to a 4-point game. Oh my word. Oh my word, what a play. Little show time from La Palau.
Belarus gets it in, they can't handle it. And Serbia finish searing hot from centre court.
2019篮球世界杯就在中国，腾讯体育点燃中国主场。
Brauc brīvdienās? Nesteidzies! Pludmali pagaidīs! Jo piestāv pie mums ir daļa no brauciena. Izbaudi arī jaunu koncepta veikals Circle K. Uzzini vairāk Circle K LV. Helio piedāvā. Spožākās pasaules un Latvijas sporta zvaigznes vienviet. Piedzīvo tiešraidē emocijas, par kurām visi runās rīt. Skaties mājās vai pa ceļām, jo viss var notikt jebkurā mirklī.
Welcome back inside the Riga Arena as we take a look at Paula Slotmane, one of the few players to get anything going here. And you've got to say, she's 3 from 3 from the field. Why doesn't she take more shots? And others have struggled. Slotmane didn't really get a lot of touches off the basketball. She has no fouls. So, it's difficult to understand why she didn't get more looks than she did. Let's just put it that way. But Sweden have been dominant in this first half, Teresa, and I would say it's just down to their tempo.
Yeah, I think this is the Swedish team. You asked that question already a couple of times during this group phases earlier at this tournament. Which Swedish team do we see? And I think today we see the Swedish team who really has an ambition to qualify for the Olympics, for Olympic qualification. And I think really it suits so well to that Swedish side if they run the floor. But I think what's important is that they really play a team performance today. We almost have 5 players in double figures, not yet, but we have already 2 in double figures, 15 assists for Swedish side, and that's just a pleasure to watch them, how much in control they are today in this game. On the other hand, Latvia, I think here we see Amanda Zauri, 10 points, but I would definitely point Lloyd, as you mentioned, 10 points, but what more she gives that threat into the penetration against the Latvian defense. I think Latvia is running a little bit off the breath. I think those 4 games in 5 days definitely is visible because Swedish side plays physical defense and run the floor up and down, and that's really physically challenging element. And I think Latvia, because their leaders have spent loads of minutes so far on the court in this tournament, is a little bit struggling to control their own rhythm offensively and defensively.
We can be very hard on Latvia here, but Sweden have come out and shot 51%. And they've done a marvellous job. And that's 51%, including 3 for 10 from 3. But you're absolutely right in terms of Latvia's, I think, physicality is gone. We had the conversation last night, didn't we, during the Spanish game? When does Coach Zibart say, we're not going to win, we've got a game to play tomorrow? Even if it had won last night, they've been playing today, unless he'd have won by something like 20. So, he's got to take some responsibility for that. But then again, it's tough again because you're playing in front of the home crowd. They're expecting you to play hard.
Yeah, it was a tough decision for Coach Bars to make yesterday, but definitely Spain has challenged that Latvian team, and I think that game has been one of the most physical ones we've seen so far this tournament. And I think today's performance for Latvia is just a reflection of losing that, let's say, breath out of their legs or breath out of their lungs, because I think really when you have an opposition like Sweden who loves to run the floor, and they really do today, you've got to be able to really cope with it, and you've got to be fresh a little bit, but not to spend 30-40 minutes on the court against the regaining champion. And I think that's what we witnessed the first half, and straight away the shooting percentage is going to go down because you're more focused about how to cope physically than use your ability to shoot, use your ability to execute any skill properly. So it will be interesting to see if Sweden, the second half, is going to carry on with this physical game up and down, good defense as a team, and good sharing the ball offensively as they do so far.
Well, Latvia will have the first possession of this third quarter. They trail by 22 points. They're not going to come back in this game inside the first 5 of the third quarter, but they have to be better than 22. So just get some positive momentum, start to put some pressure, be more aggressive offensively, until they can bring that type of game. Kreslina will start in the backcourt with Diliaku Lloyd will know everything about Diliaku by the end of the game because she has not taken an eye off her since the start of the game. Inside, nice slip, easy two. Straight to the gut of the defense for Brumane with the two.
Yeah, and we've seen the Swedish side against Czech Republic that they have had excellent first half, and then the second half they've already scored 20 points. And again, I'm asking the question, which Swedish team we're going to see the second half?
Elderbrink attacks, pops, Lloyd goes inside to Hovasson, deep on the shot clock. Elderbrink has to take a tough two, and he's short, but they get the offensive rebound. But then Hovasson spills it. Diliaku in transition, thinks about it, goes to the far side of it, uses her body so well. Takes Zoe out of the game with the way that she got angled her body. And if you're a Swedish fan, I don't want to worry you, but this looks remarkably like the Czech Republic game. A Swedish team in the first half very rarely got beneath 5 seconds of a shot clock. Since that timeout deep in the first half, have been at the bottom of shot clocks every time. But Latvia have to take advantage. They have to make shots. In the half court again, under 10. Elderbrink combines. Zoe gets it on the inside. They had a dig at it. Turnaround jump shot. Whistle on the play, and you do not, with 0.5 on the shot clock, foul out the fadeaway jump shot.
No, and we see that it was completely pointless foul. It was just a little reach from Mane, but Zoe, no matter how quality player she is, she was a little bit off balance under the time pressure, and you don't want to give her 2 free throw line shots.
Yeah, if she makes that turnaround jump shot fading away, good luck to her. You know, she's a good player, she'll make those shots. Don't let her go 2 for 2 from the line, especially after 23 and a half seconds of very good defense. No pressure up the floor from Sweden again. They wrap the pass down the middle, foul on the play, 2 shots.
Yeah, I think right now Lloyd has been carried away with Elena Dikailak standing on the three-point line, and she wasn't on the split line for this penetration of Brumane.
Yeah, but if Coach Gomez says that like that's again another front cut, isn't it? Poor individual defense on the ball and off the ball. But what the Czech Republic did really well is they took every advantage they were given. Another free throw goes a begging. This will get it under 20, and it does. Elderbrink, Kreslina putting in a shift now. Whistle on the play. And Brumane smiles, but that's the 3rd team foul for Latvia in the first minute and 50 of this 3rd period.
Yeah, and Latvia already gave up 15 free throws to the Swedish team, and you don't want to give them any more to get early in a foul troubles as a team.
Elderbrink misses the mid-range jump shot. Kreslina thinks about it. Marnie thoughts about it. Kreslina finds out Marnie wide outside, has to take that 3, and is a sharp intake of breath in the arena, as everybody thought it was going to drop. Yeah. Half the crowd were on their way up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Latvia needs their crowd more than ever right now, because they have started the second half a little bit stronger than Swedish side, and if they feel the crowd behind their back, we've seen that it's going to work.
Well, I'd like to see it again, because I don't know what Brumane can do here. I really don't have any idea what Brumane can do on that play. Headline possession, that's the 14th foul already for Latvia, though. Elderbrink attacks the middle, needs a pass, finds one. Nice look, Hovasson with a mid-range. Great rebound, super rebound by Aya Brumane.
Here we to that rebound, great work body-wise from Ramane.
Regan McGarity back in. And Gomi's been more comfortable going with his 3 big rotation in this game than he has previously. Skolomani turns down the 3. Someone's going to have to take the responsibility. Skolomani outside, 5 to 3. This time he's long. Whistle on the play. McGarry's going to be charged with the defensive foul on the box out. That puts Sweden on the 3rd team foul. This could be one of those long quarters. Trees up.
Yeah, it could. I think
do it free throws again.
I think Coach Gomez has really advantage in this game because I think whatever position, whatever player on the guard position he's putting on, they perform, and that's such great bonus for the coaches to have.
Well, Elderbrink's going to pick up her foul. And that puts both teams into the penalty with a full 7 minutes to go in the 3rd. And again, got to say, they've been a little bit more aggressive in the start of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I think now with Elena Elderbrink on the bench being in foul troubles, 3 personals, I think Latvia really needs to take advantage right now.
Obama's fouled. Zawi doesn't like it. But, you know, she had the benefit of the call down the other end. Referee seems to have called it a bit tighter in the first 3 minutes. I think she has a lot to be disappointed about the call. Didn't seem to be a lot of contact. A lot of contact on the ball. But as I say, we've got the slow-mo. So it was looked pretty clean, but anyway.
That's maybe a song of the future for technology.
Romana goes 1 for 2 again, and they are making hard work of coming back here. They've gone 50% from the free throw line. Elderbrink pops it out. Zui for 3. It's short. But Garrett is on the glass. Tries to find it. Decides to settle for a recycle. Lindqvist has it. Deliagu and Lindqvist, if they went at it, you could hope that. Oh, nice pass. Elderbrink for 2.
She
got caught looking at the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. That has been such a smart cut behind the defensive player.
Deliagu turnover. McGarity needs to break 4 on 2. But to be fair, they made a little bit of a mess of it. Lloyd, the last down the floor. And they make a mess of 4 on 2 and come up absolutely empty in transition.
Yeah, that fast break had no form.
Kreslina is fouled by Lindqvist, and you have to ask Lindqvist why. Because Kreslina was outside the keyway going behind the backboard. Fouled her out, and she's got to make the free throw. There is a route back here. A route back for Latvia is there because Sweden are reverting to type.
Yeah, and I think really Latvia step into this 3rd quarter way better. They're pushing right now the Swedish team under a little bit pressure, even though I don't think they have a reason to panic or anything. They're still 20 up, and they really need to mentally reset and get back to what they've been playing so far in the first half, which was a quick breaks, playing great defense, and it's going to give them the opportunity again to overplay Latvia. But at the moment, Latvia really forced them to play 5 against 5, and we all know that it doesn't suit the Swedish team as much.
Well, Latvia, they get the offensive rebound, but they're shooting 44% from the free throw line, and you are not going to get on a plane to Belgrade shooting 44%.
Yeah, they have been averaging on the 60% from the...
Capsoni takes the tough baseline jumper, is no good. McGarity is doing a nice job on the glass, comes down with the basketball. Holt drops in the bounce pass. Elderbrink doesn't get it to drop. McGarity can't control it, but Hilibere was out of bounds.
Yeah, she has jumped from out of bounds towards the ball. This is a great pass and go. And here we see her standing out and jumping in.
Well, Stramane's time on the bench is limited. The 20-year-old Syracuse student. Elderbrink in the corner. Deliaku going at it.
That's a huge mismatch on Handazari right now.
Ooh, rocks the two.
Yeah, if you have a mismatch like this, you're either going to attack your big or you're going to just play for the big who has that short player on their back.
Sony penetrates kicks, but Mane can't get anything to go. Ball will belong to Sweden. That is a stand by Ulrika, and it will go out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Sweden. She's a very, very strong five spot.
Absolutely, she's athletic, she's strong, but we're still waiting to see her contribution in today's game.
Lloyd attacks the closeout, floats and drops the two, and has looked absolutely out of top draw this evening. So Sweden really establishing that advantage. The missed free throws have really hurt Latvia. Drops it inside, turnover. 3-on-1 break, just make the right decision. Not sure Elderbrink was the option. Zowie on the trowel is. They dodge a bullet, Latvia. Three going the other way. And the ball goes out of bounds. And we've mentioned this in a few games, haven't we? You know, teams have got chances to run. You can see where they are mentally as where they are physically, because no one gets ahead of the ball. This Latvia team, maybe one game too many, but they look like they're running on empty at the moment. This is if they're going to get back in this, it's going to be on all halves and the crowd.
Yeah, I think we could see a little intention of running of all five players at the beginning of this third, but again, by the time goes, we see that Latvia is slowing down and they're running out of breath. So I really, really believe that in today's game, they just don't have their legs.
So, two more free throws. So 1 from 2 is just not enough. 44% is just not enough from the free throw line. Malika with the first one this time. Lloyd now takes it over at the point. Elderbrink and Lindqvist take a little rest. Just Lloyd finds Elderbrink on a little curl. Step back three. Sweet. Just got the little separation, knocked down the three, and Sweden are back in sync. Sony gets inside, can't get the layup, does get it to drop. Lindqvist will push it the other way. Sweden just need to push. Oh, little mishand by Lindqvist.
Yeah, that has been a little bit brave attack, let's say, because there has been 5 Latvian players defensively ready. And Clara Lindqvist is there to take any moment of surprise if the defensive players are not set, but at this time it wasn't the case.
Them showing a little hesitation, ball knocked away. McGarry's good impact off the bench. So there's that one dribble pull up again. Defensive rebound by Malika. Latvia searching hard here for a combination that's going to give a rhythm. Jakobsoni for three is short and just nothing will go for them. I'll make the point, you know, they played hard for the whole 40 against Spain. They were going to play today regardless, and it really does look like it's taken its toll.
Yeah, and that's why the Brazil is a low percentage of the shooting as well, because really, being tired, you don't have legs and shots are from the legs.
Loose ball foul, and Latvia will walk the floor to try and close it to 21. Timeout, Sweden.
On minūtes pārtraukumā mēs ar Piku izdomājām, ka par cik man galīgi nesanāk normāli to kupiņu aizvest metīs viņš.
I think we see a Swedish side again reset it, let's say, back to performance we've seen in the first half. They have taken the first, let's say, 5 minutes of this quarter to make, again, realize that they need to push the ball. Now we've seen Clara Lundqvist pushing the ball, even though she had made a couple of mistakes. Here is the shooting percentage. If Latvia is not going to hit any long-distance shots, it's really easy for Swedish side to defend them and fill the inside. And really, every shot comes from your legs. And if you don't have them, then obviously it's going to reflect somewhere. And I think that low percentage of shooting for Latvian team, shooting only 40% for 2 and 9% from 3, 50% from free throw, really is affecting them at the moment.
Tas nozīmē, ka, dārgie draugi, kopājamies, kā saka, visi savalsim jostas. Es domāju, ka mēs šito vīnu varam pacelt. Tā kā, nu ko, sastais spēlētājs, Latvijas izlase un aizvērtājs cīņā.
But Garrity and Halverson still on the inside, which means that Zawi's getting much needed minutes on the bench, and they're not missing a beat at the moment. Sony makes the first.
And this is big advantage in today's game for Coach Gomez, I think, because his depth within bench is quite obvious, and whoever he rotates, they really step on to keep the high intensity and perform.
Lindqvist gives it up, beats the pressure through the air with the pass, will get it back, and looks pretty comfortable in this game. Looked like this in the first game, was very good in the first game. Looks to attack the middle, off the glass for 2 is no good. And Jakobsoni goes down, great effort by Stratmani around the floor, he's not rewarded. Wide open, money for 3 is long, and she hasn't taken a bad shot, she just hasn't made one.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest issue of Latvia today. It's not that they don't have the positions, they just can't make it.
They've had opportunities, Latvia. Magari puts it on the floor, inside, and kicks. From after 3 is off. And the rebound goes off of Halverson. Olvera is going to check back in for Stratmani. Sone into the half court. Ika outside. She hasn't really looked to threaten there. There's the ball screen. Sone. They wrap the pass. Olvera goes inside, and there's a foul on the play because it's switched. This will give them the chance to get it under 20 with 1:39 to go. If you take a positive line now for Latvia, make the 2 throws, they're down 19. Get a stop, they could be down 17. They could go into the half down 17, down 16. A while ago, they would have definitely taken that, right?
Yeah, I think that they would definitely take that, and it's going to give them a hope that if they're going to start to a little bit hit some shots, that they can really make the crowd crazy, make the Swedish side crazy, and force them to some errors.
In this third quarter, they've had opportunities, just have not managed. So the quarter break, got to get some positivity. They get the double team, travel. That's exactly what they need. Crowd will get involved. T-Barts is up, bench is up, crowd is up. That's all it takes here, 1 turnover. Execute out of bounds. Why is Victoria? From Mane. Going inside. Nick goes up. Those are the plays she made all game yesterday.
Yeah, she did, but so far she's 0-7, and that's not a performance you want from your big in a game like this.
No, absolutely not. Elderbrink inside to Halverson, drops it inside for the easy 2. So Garrity's getting there, but she's still not there. Jakobsoni gets it off to Moniku, go with the left hand to the far side, blows another one. 0 from 8 and counting. Elderbrink. They're just not the same team, are they, Sweden? They get in the half court and they get slow. They're going to rely on the long 2 with nothing Gary does a great job on the offensive glass. Elderbrink. 4 seconds on the possession. Gomez drops the 3.
And this is what I'm talking about. Gomez has such choices, let's say, in the guard positions, who's going to be on the court, because Lloyd 12, Trauma at 10.
McGarity didn't realise that Lindqvist had slipped. 9 seconds. Penetration, Pulvari for 3, really needed to drop. And it does. And we have a 19-point margin at the end of 3. A 19-point margin may seem a really tall order, but they have got themselves back under 20, had opportunities to be a lot closer than that. So this is not done by any stretch of the imagination. Sweden still only shooting 29% from 3, but not enough from Latvia, especially from the free throw line.
Uzreiz mašīnas atslēgas tiek rādīts, ja labi rāpos, būs auto. Jā, labi. Tā, otra mēs varat būs karoks.
Well, these highlights are going to show you that Sweden got into the half court a lot more than we think they should. But what it doesn't really show you is the missed opportunities that Latvia had. Mika on the inside in particular had big-time opportunities to really eat into that lead. Even if she made half a shot, we would have been looking at a 14-point game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen a little highlight of it, let's say, at the beginning of the third, when Latvia has raised their nets in the defensive end, put Swedish team a little bit under the pressure. But again, it comes to the point that I don't think they are consistent enough. I don't think they have any more power left to carry on all 40 minutes, because if you play Swedish teams who really love to run, you need to keep it up all 40 minutes.
So Sweden with possession at the start of this final 10 minutes of action for these two teams here in Riga. One of those teams will have a lot more action to think about in Belgrade on Thursday. Lama goes up off the glass, little floater, gets her own rebound. And again, missed opportunities for Latvia. Again, they forced a missed shot, didn't get the rebound. And Leme's having her best game of the competition, 12 points personal. Big to big, finish on this side of the ring as Brumane picks up another 2. She goes to 8 personal, turnover, exactly. Silveri takes the 3 and rings it in and out.
And again, we see a Swedish team attacking a 5-set players defensively for Latvia. I think you really want to challenge them before they even have time to all go together.
Well, Zibats wants to travel. The crowd want to travel. The referee's called a foul for Elfring, which there was. It's not, I'm not sure how many steps it took her to get to the foul, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I kind of have a feeling that the Swedish side right now, they don't want to really risk anything. They just want to play a time, even though it's never too good to play time too early. But I think they still believe that they can get enough from 5 against 5 for this last quarter to bring this game to the winning end. So I think what we've seen the first half from Swedish team was really every possible opportunity to take to run the floor. But right now, I think they really do protect their ball and not risking anything. So the difference margin is 20. The margin is 20 points, and that's still quite a lot for Latvia to challenge. And I think unless because Latvia is going to come up the floor and they'll put the pressure defensively on Swedish team. I don't see them winning, but we will see still a whole quarter ahead of us, and anything can happen with the home crowd behind your back.
But they need to score, and they need to score consistently, and they can't take shots like that. Elderbrink leads the break. Sweden don't have to like just run and gun, but if they're balanced, they've got to put it up because they can get those opportunities off the glass. But Garrity again, he's really doing a nice job. Keeping it alive on the glass. Latvia dodge a bullet. They trail by 21. Pulvari puts it on the floor. Gets to the far side of the ring and throws a pass up to the far side on the other side. And Sklovmani misses.
And again, it's not that there is no position. It just comes again missing the open shots here. No one's guarding Sklovmani on that easy shot, really 1 meter away from the rim.
Elderbrink will advance the basketball. Just over 8 minutes left in this quarter-final, or playoff to get to the quarter-final. Nice move. Garrity goes to the far side of the ring. Well, there's a player on this Swedish team that's steeped in Swedish basketball history. It's McGarity. Mother played with the national team. Brother played with the national team. Jakobsoni for three. It's good. Father was a pro. Now she is a WNBA player.
Yeah,
not a bad little pedigree.
Absolutely, and she has to adjust to the senior level.
Elderbrink, great work by the Ellen on the far side. The 3-3 was short.
Yeah, and this is the player we're talking about, Regan Margariti. Never easy transition, but where else to pick up these experiences than at the EuroBasket?
Kreslina, who's just not really got it going and almost turns it over. Referee was a bit not sure. But got it right. Well, she's always going to get it right because she's the person deciding. 7:20 to go, 20-point game. Sweden got up in that second period and have never looked back. Sony, repositioned screen, lines up the three, is no good. There's a whistle on the play.
Yeah, I think obviously now it's last quarter, but whole game, the Swedish tactic is to cut Helena Di Carlaco completely off the ball. The defense really doesn't look even where the ball is.
Elderbrink will skip it. Lemon lines up the three, and he's short. McGarity gets it alive, and Elderbrink has a new full team to work with.
Yeah, when you play a zone defense, you really have to look and pick up the player on the rebound, because again, that's 13 offensive rebound for Swedish team.
Garrity with a big-time rebound and fights for it, gets the foul. That'll be the fourth team foul on Latvia.
So 11 rebounds from Regan Margariti, and if she's not a scoring leader, she definitely has quite clear role to fight on the glass, and that's just what she's doing today.
Goes up, off the glass, doesn't get the drop. Another example of that physicality. Here's Diliaku, puts it on the floor, tries to turn the corner. Needs a pass, finds one. Lumani looks underneath, no options. So he goes a little give and go action. Turnaround is tough and scrapes the far side of the ring. And a really very solid, successful period of the women's national team in Latvia maybe coming to, maybe interrupted here. Lamar travels. World Cup qualification, top qualification in last EuroBasket. Success in a number of qualification and final round, and they will not get to the quarterfinals if they lose here. With 6 minutes to go, still 20 points down.
I have to say, I have been quite impressed by Latvian performance in the group phase, because obviously they have been struggling with big absences within their roster prior to this championship, and then still they show that they can really challenge the top teams in Europe.
And the three just will not drop for Yugoslav Mane.
Rukolicom komandoj.
Bowie goes high-low, Halverson, solid. That little combination has been effective again tonight. Yaku, little hesitation, tries to get deep, needs a pass, little scoop pass is blocked. And Halverson just adds to Monika's woes on the night. Well, mishandled by Elderbrink. Yaku goes up, is fouled by Elderbrink. Halfway through this fourth quarter.
That possible assist from Elena de Carlaco and Monika, and she really needs to count that the block is coming and really use your body to create a space for your easy layup, because this has been 2 points.
We're just going to check this for an unsportsmanlike. Well, that's one of those where you could argue Elbrink's going for the ball.
And the time.
So I think you could, but interesting to see. I'm disappointed if they call it unsportsmanlike. They call it unsportsmanlike. I can see why.
Yeah.
Because there was no real option to play the ball.
Yeah, I think what Elena de Carlaco done great was that movement of the ball in the layup, and I think Frida Elderbrink, she wanted to go for the ball, but the movement of Elena's arms just made her to show that she hit the arm first.
I mean, my only disappointment, if that's the right phrase, is that we've seen a lot more what are unsportsmanlike fouls, not called or not reviewed by the officials here. But then again, as we said before, we've got 3 good ones, very good officials on this game, took their time, went and saw the technology, make the call. Yaku curls. Ika with the long 2 and is no good, and she's still field goalless. Halverson, Lowy, big to big. Well, they blew the layup, and they'll retain possession.
And again, we see great court vision from both bigs, because they exactly know where they are, and Halverson and Zoe has been exceptional, that cooperation of these two in the court. I think that's something that Youngs needs to learn.
Zoe, outside the 3, moves it on to Frida Elderbrink. Stops, fires up the long 2, and he's had the Elderbrinks have been very, very solid on that type of range tonight. That puts her on to 16 personal. Last night, it was her sister.
There's another trash talk right now, because the officials have called a foul on Zoe, and she didn't like that call, so she started to comment that, and straight away after came the technical for this experienced player.
Well, she made a comment, made some noise, she would say, earlier on towards Mane after a foul, and I think genuinely they're like, what are they, 4.5 minutes away from a quarter-final of EuroBasket women. And I think she's just very emotional in the moment, but they still don't excuse if you start trash talking things. No place for it. Never should be. And the referees, if they called it for that, then you've got to applaud them. Yaku gets to the lane, doesn't get the drop, and she just so needed the 3-point play. It's great to see. She just doesn't give up. She's just relentless in her effort.
No, but she's that type of player that she knows what they play for, and they play the home championship. And obviously, if you're down so many points, and if you don't perform as much as they don't in today's game, all you have to give is your heart, and really leave with your head up, and that's what she's doing.
Well, she goes to 11 points personal. She's got another game in double digits. Make that 12. Don't think she's too keen to go out. But Prunina checks in for her first action of the game. 2-3 zone steal by Latvia. Offensive foul called. Halverson just took out the back of the zone. And Kreslina took full force of Halverson. And that is a force.
Yeah, and another offensive foul from Halverson, yeah.
No, there you go.
That's the elbow way too high, and once it's in the face of the player, it's quite a clear call. They're personal, and I think officials are checking if there has been any intention or not, but
I would be genuinely disappointed if that
would be, no, that has been a simple swim move for a big to get open, but unfortunately that arm didn't go far enough to miss that face of the player. It just ended up right in there. Oh.
To me, even on the replay, it looked like she was just trying to get her elbow over the top. And even if she didn't do it very well, she was still making an action to post up.
Yeah.
So therefore, it may well be an offensive foul, but it's not like she's elbowed as such. But I'm sure the officials will explain that one to us. We ask.
Yeah, what's important, another 2 points for Latvian team and possession.
And now it's a 17-point game. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? The 2 here would make life a little interesting. Monika needs to score for the first time tonight, and doesn't. And she's having one of those nights. She had a great night in the win over Ukraine, and she's as good as she was then. She's struggled tonight. It's been, because she is one of those players that could be a real future option for Latvia.
Yeah, absolutely. But shooting 10-0 from, let's say, 1 meter away from the rim. Oh, great.
It's like, hey, sister, she said, you had 18 last night, I'm having 18 tonight. She goes on to 18 personal with 3:27 to go. As we've said before, there must be a very proud family sitting in the crowd here, almost certainly, with those two.
Yeah, it seems like both sisters just not running out of gas. They just keep going, and they're reading the defenders as well, really well. And it's such good when the players have a long distance shot, and also they are so strong into penetration. And that's a tough task for defenders to really guard if the player is such a variable.
Well, Francois Gomez wants to take a timeout with 3:20 to go. That's his second timeout of the half. He's up 19 with 3:20. Now, obviously, he's got his mind on, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this. I'm thinking already I'm playing Serbia. So, is there some learning points here? Is he going to put something on the floor? This extra game, in many ways, could be a real advantage for them. To have a look at the other teams and actually put some stuff on the floor.
Yeah, I can only agree, but I have to say as well that a whole second half looks like that the Swedish side knew that they are completely in control of this game, and they really slowed down their offense, their transition offense, and really was maybe trying to improve that 5-on-5 what they've been struggling so far in this tournament, because we can assume that when they progress into quarterfinals, they're going to face better teams with the better defenses, better tactics. Obviously, that's why they would progress there, and they might challenge them to have to play against 5-on-5 more. So who knows what was the coach commander's strategy for the second half, but if Latvia was flat like they were in this second half, why not to try and use some strategy for the stage of this tournament?
A 17-point game, 3:20 to go. Gives Latvia the chance to organise the press and give Sweden a hard time to get it over just in time. And I mean just in time. I'm not sure if it actually was over in time, but it was close. Lindquist weaves through the keyway, runs into bodies, doesn't get the drop. Going on, and it's to the three, it's no good. And McGarrity's done a marvellous job again. Into the half court. Garrity baseline. Rumani takes that space away. Chance to run. Iliaku gives it up. The three is away. It's short. And they've had a night not to remember, Teresa, from the free throw line, from the three-point line.
Yeah, absolutely. Shooting 16% against a team like Sweden at this stage of the tournament, that's definitely something they won't be proud of.
Just approaching the last 2 minutes. Sweden just trying to get over the line now. Well, she's had the game of the tournament for her. She only goes on to 14 points, but she spent a lot of time on the bench in the second half. Into the last 2 minutes, so substitutions to be made on baskets. Iliaku into the half court, looks to turn the corner. Elderbrink doesn't stop, as you said. She has an engine. And Sweden starting to empty the bench here. Alderson's going to step out. Hamilton's going to get her first minutes of EuroBasket 2019. As is Vesterberg. Swedish fans have got a whole section and a half of yellow vests. They're going to stay on their feet, I think, for the last minute and a half here and just enjoy the moment. Yeah, we're having another look at, I'm not quite sure what. Oh, it's who touched the ball before it went out of bounds?
She didn't touch the ball.
Was the last touch of Elderbrink. And the answer to that is yes. Only Iliaku is in double digits for Latvia.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Latvia scoring 54 points, you probably won't win games unless you play such exceptional defense and keep the position under even bigger struggle.
I hope we get a replay of this, because this is one of those things that, okay, where is the intent to play the ball when you put two hands in the back and push?
Yeah. And it's again, there was no way that she could even touch the ball of the offensive player.
Halverson is caught for an unsportsmanlike foul trying to get post position, which is why we don't have to talk about it, but we do. Elderbrink.
Yeah, again, Sweden playing time. They're playing that clock, 1.5 minutes to go.
Lloyd tries to turn the corner, they switch the defense. And that goes out of bounds, no one touched it. So, Dialaku is floated in, should be an easy two, is an easy two. 14-point game, 1:20 to go. Domi may have emptied that bench a little quick. Elderbrink gives it to Elderbrink. That normally means things are sound for Sweden.
And again, we see a couple of minutes from Latvian team to put and raise the pressure, raise the intensity defensively, because defense brings the offense most of the time. But while we haven't seen it as much.
Free to Elderbrink. Well, that tells you why everyone was so worried when she went down in that first half. Since she went down and she came back 21 points personal, Deliaku is fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. A good chance to add to her personal tally. Goes to 13 personal. And Iliaku's going to leave the floor. I hope she gets some recognition here because she absolutely deserves it. Elderbrink and Lloyd combined, trying to just run this down. Everyone who has the yellow t-shirt on far about three is on their feet. Zowie, the heart and soul of this team, is orchestrating some celebrations on the bench. Because the Swedish national team tomorrow will be getting on a plane and going to Belgrade. And while they'll be having a ridiculously tough task to play against Serbia, it's a Serbian team that if they take them lightly, could absolutely regret that, any decision like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen quite tactical second half from the Swedish team. They have basically lost the second half against Latvia. Only scoring this last one 18 points against 21 of Latvia. But what matters is that they do progress into the quarterfinals and have a couple days rest.
Oh, they're going to blow the whistle.
I think what's really important for Coach Gomez as well is that he really spread out the minutes within the whole roster. And I think all those players who have got the opportunity, which are not as usual leaders, I think they really rebounded it, because I think Sweden really showed us a great team performance today, even though we've seen a couple of outstanding performances as Frida Elderbrink, Lloyd, also Zowie had the moments as well, Drama, another one. So Swedish team has been really tough to guard today on the guard position, because whoever took that responsibility to be danger, they were.
While Sweden, with a phenomenal first half performance, maintained and managed the game in the second half, and will go to Belgrade after a 77-62 win over Latvia.
Tieši tā, mēs vēl tiksimies tur rudenī, kad būs Eiropas čempionāta kvalifikācija, kurās būs cīņa par ceļzīgu uz čempionāta fināla turnīru 2021. gadā. Team Sweden, we wish you good luck and best wishes and all the wins for the next game, because the next one is a quarterfinal against, again, the home team, Team Serbia. So guys, good luck!
So Sweden will advance to Belgrade to face, they've beaten the hosts here to progress. And and they're going to advance to face the hosts in Serbia. Check the schedules for next Thursday. If you're a fan of Swedish basketball and a fan of up-tempo basketball, they're going to face Serbia at home in Belgrade. That doesn't come much tougher than that, but they've come to Riga and faced Latvia at home and got the result. They're back in the quarterfinals of EuroBasket women, first time since 2013 in France, where if anyone remembers that game, it took Celine Demer 2 massive threes to just down them at the end of a tremendous game of basketball. Statistically, neither team, both teams took reasonable care of the basketball, but for me, that first half shows you how good Sweden could be. Elderbrink top scorer, which tells you they ran it and they shot it.
Yeah, I can only agree with that. And when you have a team like Latvia was shooting today really poorly, it makes the other team really shine on the board. And Swedish team has out-rebounded completely the Latvian team by 16 rebounds, which is a really high number, considering how many opportunities they have to score, how many more possessions they have. And really, that first half, that's what I would like to see Sweden to take into that quarterfinals, because the second half, they really slowed down their game. They more played against 5-on-5. They gave a little bit opportunity for Latvian team again to warm the crowd, let's say. But generally, I'm pretty sure the Swedish team's going to be really happy from this team performance, and great mental momentum for quarterfinals with such tough task ahead of them, facing another host nation.
Well, it's never easy playing Serbia anywhere in the world, is it? And Serbia is one of those games that you would never choose to have if you wanted to make a semi-final. And don't forget, there are 2 targets for the teams. One is obviously winning the Continental Championship of Europe. The other is qualifying for the World Cup qualifying tournament, which will take place in 2020. So Sweden have given themselves a chance at both of those targets. And if they beat Serbia, great, they already get one of those. But if they beat Serbia, tremendous, hats off to them. They're entitled for any medal opportunity they can get. But there'd be a handful for anybody in terms of qualification place for the Olympic Games tournament, because they have found a way to play. If they play it, it gives them a shot at beating any team in this competition. Side rotation on the inside, the Elderbrink, and they have this absolute desire as a group, the enjoyment of playing with each other, and they have that sort of culture of leaders amongst them. So quality, and they have the desire and the passion to do it. It's great to see them. The fans from Serbia are going to add something to the atmosphere in Belgrade, because there will be an atmosphere in Belgrade. But Zoe Lloyd was tremendous tonight. That was by far her most productive game. Who knows where the Swedish journey will end? One thing for sure, it's not ending here. They are on their way to Belgrade. Check out the schedules on the tournament website. But they will play Serbia, almost certainly last game of the day, next Thursday. So that's for quite a few days' time. Both teams left plenty of time to travel and get some rest. But Latvia, Teresa, I think the point we made in commentary, just put too much effort into that Spanish game last night. They left some of their best performances in a game that was going to have little bearing on whether they won this game.
Yeah, I can only agree with that, because I think that game against Spain has been the best performance I've seen so far Latvia play in the last couple of years, in terms of intensity, in terms of dealing with the aggression from Spain as well. But unfortunately, I think it a little bit cost them the minutes in this game when it really mattered for them to win and progress into the quarterfinals. And you know what, when you're tired, the percentage goes down, and that's what we witnessed in today's game, because Latvia really wasn't the same Latvia as we've seen in the group phase, when they were pushing ball in the transition, hitting the shots, and finding the right positions to shoot.
Well, there's the confirmation of the game here. It's 77-62. Great Britain and Montenegro to come in around 40 minutes. We'll be back for that. But for now, from the Riga Arena, we'll see you in around 40 minutes. Bye for now.